Hello, Dodger fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Blue Dugout Podcast. Your host, Chris Pacheco, of course, and we are at Chavez Ravine talking Dodgers and Pirates. Another great series for the Dodgers. The bats came alive, very much so. Pitching did very well towards the end. A little rocky at first, but then after a while, kind of picked it up and were able to pick up some guys. So let's jump into it. We got Game 1, Dodgers versus Pirates. Our starting nine, Ohtani at the DH spot, leading it off. We've got Mookie Betts at shortstop, Freddie Freeman at first base, Teoscar Hernandez at right field, Tommy Edman at second base. We've got Will Smith behind the plate, Michael Conforto in left field, Max Muncy at third base, and our guy, the hottest bat in our lineup, the newest bat in our lineup, Andy Pages in center field. So this game takes place with two aces going up against each other, Yoshinobu Yamamoto versus Paul Skenes. These two guys about as good as it gets when it comes to NL pitching. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, in fact, going into this game with the lowest ERA in the NL. So we get into this game, and unfortunately, it's just not the same Yamamoto that we have been seeing all season long. Unfortunately, he starts this one off with a walk to O'Neal Cruz, who, by the way, is the Pirates' best hitter right now. And then, unfortunately, it's followed up by him stealing second base. Once again, the Dodgers right now, in terms of just our pitchers, I guess, in general, they are very locked in terms of, throwing strikes, getting outs, getting ground balls, making sure they're focusing on the batter at the plate. However, they need to remember that there are runners on base, and these guys can take advantage of things like timing pitchers, making sure that they can go at a specific time that they already know they're going to the plate, as opposed to even trying to pick off to first base. I think it's this mentality of, once again, just trying to focus on the batter. Of course, just gave up a walk and now just wants to focus on getting it out, but unfortunately lets this guy get to second base. He does follow that up with two outs after that, but unfortunately, Emmanuel Valdez makes him pay for it with a runner in scoring position, gets a single to the right side, and ends up scoring O'Neal Cruz, making this game 1-0. Now, that is Yamamoto's first earned run in his last three starts. He has not allowed an earned run in his last, I want to say, 3 or 4 starts. I'm not sure which one, but it's definitely been a while since he's allowed a run, and unfortunately this was the first one, once again, in a long time. He's able to get out of that inning, and we are able to go into the bottom half of the first inning, where unfortunately just can't get off to a start at all. And I mean, throughout this game, it looks like the bats just stayed cold throughout this, in terms of us hitting the ball, facing Skenes. I mean, looks like he was the one that showed up with a little bit of a better arsenal, I guess you can say, a little bit better pitches. Paul Skenes having about 9 strikeouts in that game, and unfortunately Yamamoto only having about 5. And as well, Yamamoto giving up 4 walks, Paul Skenes giving up none. So you can see kind of how it goes in terms of having runners on base, especially someone like O'Neal Cruz, who's very quick, who can steal bases pretty well, gets in scoring position, and the Pirates make us pay for it. So Yamamoto actually finishes his game at 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 1 earned run. 3 runs obviously come across while he is up there. However, only 1 earned run, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, no home runs, but now bringing his ERA to 1.06. So a positive out of this, right, is only that 1 earned run. Still keeps his ERA the lowest in the major leagues right now. It's not the worst start in my opinion. I mean, this guy definitely didn't just, completely fall off. I mean, we've seen Dustin May having a great start, and then out of nowhere just got lit up by the Cubs. That wasn't the case in this situation. Yamamoto obviously just giving up these walks. Once guys get into certain places like scoring position, they're just taking advantage of it at certain points. I mean, we did face a very good pitcher as well. Once again, Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes finishes the game at 6.1 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts, and that brings his ERA to 2.39. So obviously that can show that the Dodgers just, unfortunately, the bats just couldn't get hot. I mean, there is one thing that I can mention though, the fact that Andy Pages, my God, he starts this off and gets these multiple hits. He gets 2 doubles and a single, does a great job of seeing the ball right now, doing a great job of making some adjustments at the plate, whatever it may be, switching up a stance, making an adjustment with 2 strikes. I mean, this guy is having some long at-bats as well. A couple of these hits he did get off the first pitches, but a couple of them he battled for. So Andy Pages, have a night to you, kid, for this 3-hit game. We just cannot get any runs around to score. In fact, we start this series off with a shutout, 3-0. The Pirates take game one. So, of course, once again, negatives, just got to get the bats hot, right? The bats have to show up. The fact that we got guys like Andy Baez who's making adjustments, other guys got to do the same thing, right? Other guys need to start doing something in their off time, something in the cages, something where they can actually, build some momentum off of getting some runs, actually scoring more than just no runs. I mean, the fact that we were only able to get a few hits out of this, a few guys unfortunately go over. Conforto, his bat is just staying cold right now. Max Muncy going back into the cold seat. A couple of these guys just looking a little inconsistent, looking like they're really not showing too much life at the plate. In my opinion, guys like Conforto really need to start, showing some improvements. I mean, the guy, once again, was projected to have a Teoscar Hernandez season, and then out of nowhere has one home run in Tokyo. A couple hits after that. I'm not saying that he's been completely cold, but after that, just haven't heard much from him. He's just not having the bat that we need right now. He needs to come alive a little bit. Max Muncy, showing some improvement in a couple of other games, right? The Colorado series, we saw some walks against the Cubs. He wasn't doing too bad. Had a couple of big hits, even in Texas. But now coming back over here to just kind of go back into the cold seat, obviously is not ideal. We need to make sure that we keep the bats alive. We need to make sure that we are in this throughout the whole game. So the Pirates take game one, 3-2-0. So that wraps that up. Let's get into game two now, where things get a little bit better for us and things in fact start coming to life in terms of bats. So let's get into game two now, where starts off a little rocky for us, right? I mean, this one literally right off the first freaking pitch of the game, but then it smooths out for us a little bit, right? We come back in this one, the bats get a little bit hotter. The starting nine, we've got Shohei Ohtani at the top, DH, we've got Mookie Betts at shortstop, Freddie Freeman at first base, we've got Teoscar Hernandez in right field, Tommy Edman at second base, Will Smith behind the plate, we've got Michael Conforto in left field, Max Muncy at third base, and the hottest batter in our lineup once again, Andy Baez in center field. So the rookie Sasaki takes the mound for the Dodgers, and unfortunately he still is looking for his first win, but coming off a not so bad start against the Cubs, right? We've seen some improvement in that game as well. But let's jump into his start. Unfortunately, on the very first pitch of this game, gives up an absolute bomb to O'Neal Cruz. Unfortunately, leaves the ball way too high for him, and O'Neal Cruz puts a ball deep into center field. That ball's up, that ball's back, that ball is fair, and that ball is out of here. The very first pitch of the game, left center field, and now the Pirates lead this game 1-0. So not the best start for Roki Sasaki, right? I mean, this is a guy, once again, who's still making adjustments, showing improvement, but a very first pitch of the game that left it about belt high for this guy to hit, was right in his sweet spot, and he took advantage of it, made him pay for it. So although the Pirates draw first blood in this one, the Dodgers definitely show them that they're not out of it. Mitch Keller gets the start for the Pirates with a 1-1 record, and in fact goes into this game against none other than Shohei Ohtani, who he has unfortunately allowed 2 home runs off of, and in this at-bat, he does not stop hitting the ball off of Mitch Keller. Starts off with a Shohei Ohtani double to the right center field, and after that, we follow it up with a Teoscar Hernandez double to right center field as well, scoring Shohei Ohtani, now making it 1-1 Dodgers. So they end up showing life early in this one. They end up getting the bats hot early in this one, and that is what I love. The fact that the bats came alive early in this game is phenomenal. It's definitely a better start than game one. It's always good, once again, to progress in baseball to get better. You're not going to be perfect in this game. However, progression in the game, getting better, right, making adjustments and making something happen after a game like a shutout is phenomenal. So great job on the Dodgers' behalf to get this one going early, and it doesn't even end there. Tommy Edman ends up hitting a ball which doesn't look like it's hit very hard, looks like he's going to get out, but the fact that he put it in play gives him an opportunity to make something happen. Second baseman makes a throwing error, and now Tommy Edman gets all the way to second base. Teoscar Hernandez scores, and this now makes it 2-1 Dodgers. Once again, putting a ball in play and just letting something happen can result in something like this. Tommy Edman legging it out and ends up beating that ball to first base. In fact, not even really beating the ball, but getting to first base on a throwing error, and Teoscar Hernandez also being heads up and seeing where that ball ended up, scores, and that now makes it 2-1 Dodgers. So one thing I can point out is obviously Teoscar Hernandez is showing some pretty good moments in this game. I mean, the fact that he got that big RBI to start it off, and in the very next inning, he makes a very good play in right field. Adam Frazier hits a ground ball. Unfortunately, they can only make one out at second base, and this now leads to somebody being on third base. Tommy Pham, the very next at bat, hits a fly ball into right field. Teoscar Hernandez, showing that he's got that strong strong arm. He catches the ball and ends up gunning this guy out at home plate, now getting a double play to end the inning. What a play by Teoscar Hernandez. Once again, a very positive moment in this game. I mean, he's not having a very cold start, right? He's had some big moments, had some big hits in Texas. In this game, he definitely just shows a lot more life and coming alive a lot more. So both pitchers doing a good job of keeping both teams at bay at this point, all the way up until about the 5th inning, where unfortunately Adam Frazier gets a single to start this one off, followed up by a Tommy Pham double, and then none other than O'Neal Cruz, the man once again that is their hottest bat in the lineup, gets a single to the right side. O'Neal Cruz looks like he got the better of him in this one. I mean, it doesn't look like a very high pitch. In fact, it ends up being a ground ball to the right side. It's nothing like a line drive. Looks like he was trying to throw that splitter and may have potentially got him, but O'Neal Cruz, once again, their best hitter, and just doing a very good job of going down and getting that ball and doing whatever he can with it. Once again, putting a ball in play can result in something like this. So now this makes it 3-2 Pirates. However, it's followed up by a very good play by Andy Paez, and once again, this dude Andy Paez and Roki Sasaki just got some type of connection. They must be related of some sort. They must be brothers, because they just got this connection between each other anytime they're on the field. Here we are in the top half still of the 5th inning, where Brian Reynolds ends up hitting this ball to center field. Looks like it's about to go out, but Andy Paez showing off this very nice defense that he's been having all season long, goes up, snags that ball away from him, and that saves what could have potentially been a 2-run home run. So once again, these two guys going off right now in terms of having some type of chemistry on the defense. The minute Roki Sasaki leaves the ball too far up, Andy Paez lets him know, I got you, and makes that play in center field. What a play by Andy Paez, and it's off to you, kid. Although the Pirates come back a little bit for this one, Dodgers showing that they're still not out of it. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, where it starts off with a Shohei Ohtani triple. He gets a big triple to the right side, gets all the way to third base with that speed. It's then followed up by our big man, Freddie Freeman, gets a single to the right side, scores Shohei Ohtani, and now this makes it a tie ball game at 3 apiece. Very good job on these two guys' behalf, right? Shohei Ohtani getting a very big hit, and Freddie Freeman doing a good job of not leaving him in scoring position, taking advantage of the fact that he is literally only 90 feet away. He is in scoring position way better than he is at second base. He hustled his butt to get him to third base. Now you got to hustle your butt to get him home. So very good job for Freddie Freeman tying this ball game in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So Roki Sasaki not doing too bad of a job in this game, right? Still showing some improvement. He finishes the game with 5.2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and it brings his ERA to 3.55. So once again, not doing too bad, right? Just gave up a couple of hits. Unfortunately, what really hurt him, I think, as well, were the walks. The fact that he had guys on base, guys like O'Neal Cruz, unfortunately gives up that big home run in the beginning of the game, literally the first pitch. So still needs to make some adjustments. He still is coming up in the bigs. Rookie year, coming from a completely different country. Just needs some time to adjust. Hats off to you, Roki Sasaki, for continuing to stay in the fight, continue to go after a kid. I mean, any rookie would, you know what I mean? Any kid who's in the major leagues is blessed, in my opinion. And the fact that you have this opportunity to grow, to get better, just keep going after a kid. It will happen for you. I mean, it happened for Yamamoto. I'm pretty sure it's bound to happen for Roki Sasaki. So another part of the game I want to get into, the top half of the 7th inning, we now have Jack Dreyer on the mound, who is a reliever for the Dodgers, and unfortunately starts this inning off with a single to Tommy Pham, followed by another single, and then gives up a walk. So now this makes it bases loaded, no outs in the top half of the 7th inning. In a tie ball game, obviously this is not a good spot to be in for Jack Dreyer, and Brian Reynolds doesn't make him pay for it too bad. However, does put the ball in play, and unfortunately this now makes it 4-3 Pittsburgh. So here's a moment in time where obviously it's a negative. It shows the fact that if a reliever is going to come in, they got to keep the door shut. They can't allow things like runs to happen. Yes, we do end up coming back and having the bats hot throughout this as well, but unfortunately pitching can't allow walks, can't allow hits to the point where we're not even getting it out. Bases loaded, no outs. The fact that we were still able to make a play on this is positive, but it allows a run to score, now making it 4-3 Pittsburgh. So although the Pirates come back in this one for a moment, the Dodgers show that they are still not out of it. We now get into the bottom half of the 7th inning. It starts off with an Andy Paez single, followed up by a Shohei Ohtani double to now tie up the ball game. What a job by these guys to stay in it once again, make sure that the bats don't go cold, make sure that we don't just lie down and allow these guys to win this game. They do a great job of making sure they stay in it all the way through the end. So now we have a 4-4 ball game, and we even go to the bottom half of the 8th inning where it gets busted open even wider. We've got Teoscar Hernandez up at the plate, gets a ball and puts it deep into left field, a few rows up into the pavilion. That ball's up, That ball's fair. That ball is back. And that ball is out of here, now taking the lead 5-4. What a job once again from this guy, Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, having such a great night in this game, helping the Dodgers draw first blood and even capitalize on it with a error from the Pirates, and now making it a 5-4 ball game LA. Another hot bat in our lineup ends up coming up and getting a big double. Tommy Edman gets a double, and this helps build a little bit more momentum. And it follows up by a Will Smith walk, and then we've got a guy who we decide to take off the bench, and he comes out of nowhere hot. Kike Hernandez with this big home run to left field. That ball is up, that ball is back, that ball is fair, and that ball is out of here. Kike Hernandez, what a job by this guy seeing the ball at the plate, giving the Dodgers even more insurance runs. Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott doing a very good job in this game as well, shutting the door, getting the win 8-4 over the Pirates. So once again, we're at 1-1 apiece in this series. Let's go into game 3 now, where the bats do not stop. Alrighty, folks. So once again, we're at 1-1 apiece. Now let's jump into game 3, where things kind of look a little bad for us in terms of pitching. Guys come back and end up picking this guy up, but unfortunately, doesn't look good for Tyler Glasnow right now. We got the starting 9, Ohtani at the top, DH. We've got Betts at shortstop. We've got Teoscar Hernandez in right field. Freddie Freeman at first base. We've got Tommy Edman in center field. Of course, we can't leave this man out. Andy Pages in left field. We've got Max Muncy at third base. Kike Hernandez, after that big home run, gets a spot in the starting lineup at second base. And we've got Austin Barnes behind the plate for this one. On the mound, we've got Tyler Glasnow, who unfortunately had to come out of the game early his last start for some cramps that he was feeling in his legs. And unfortunately, this one doesn't go much better for him. So we start this one off with an O'Neal Cruz walk, but then it's followed up by Brian Reynolds grounding into a double play. This looks pretty good to start off Tyler Glasnow's game. The fact that he already has 2 outs, nobody on, but then the vet over in Pittsburgh, Andrew McCutchen, comes up and hits a shot to center field, now making this 1-0 Pittsburgh. And unfortunately, it doesn't end there. On the very next at bat, Emmanuel Valdez gets another home run to the right side. Now this makes it 2-0 Pittsburgh. So it just doesn't look good with this start from Tyler Glasnow, giving up these 2 home runs back to back. And we kind of find out why this may have happened. In the top half of the second inning, Tyler Glasnow gets up on the mound for warm-up pitches. On his very last warm-up pitch, shows some discomfort. In fact, Dave Roberts, noticing this discomfort from Tyler Glasnow, goes over and takes a look. He only gets to pitch that top half of the first inning. I feel really bad for this guy. I mean, Tyler Glasnow came into the 2024 season looking phenomenal. He was leading the league in strikeouts. Everything was looking great. Fastball was on point. He looked like he was throwing hard. And then unfortunately gets that big elbow injury to end the season. Comes back this season. Doesn't look too bad, right? I mean, he's not having the best start to his season. It could have gone way worse, right? It's been going worse before in the past. I mean, the fact that he started with Pittsburgh and wasn't looking too good over there to now coming over to LA and having these better starts, I just really feel bad for the guy. I really hope that he can recover from this. I mean, the fact that this guy just keeps getting hurt, it's just not looking too good for Tyler Glasnow. So one thing I could point out though as a positive is the fact that after those 2 runs, the bullpen now comes in to do the work, picking up after Tyler Glasnow, and they completely shut the door after that. They do not allow anything to happen. Ben Casparius coming in after that. In fact, getting his 3rd win, now making his record 3-0. This guy doing a very good job from the bullpen. You know, I mean, I love Ben Casparius. They're even talking about giving him a potential spot in the rotation. The fact that he was once a starting pitcher, I believe through the minor league system. Once he got to the Dodgers, he ended up showing up to a full rotation. So they used him in the bullpen. Right now, Ben Casparius is probably the best candidate for that position. Very good job on the bullpen's behalf. We had Vesia, Garcia, and Gomez to follow that off. In fact, this is Yoendry Gomez's first major league game. He kept the door shut. In fact, he went for a whole 3 innings. He did a very good job. He only allowed 4 hits. He did not allow any earned runs, didn't allow any walks. In fact, he got 4 strikeouts. So very good job on your debut, Gomez. Hats off to you. Great job for this guy. So some positives in this, we could obviously see that Andy Pages continues to keep the bat hot. He went 10 for 12 in the series and went 4 for 5 in this game. In fact, it's a big home run in the bottom half of the 5th, where we also see another big home run from Teoscar Hernandez. In fact, this is his 200th career home run. He got his bat authenticated for this. He did a very good job seeing this pitch as well. Hats off to you, Teoscar Hernandez. Hats off to you, Andy Pages. The whole Dodger lineup in general, I mean, the bat stayed hot all the way through. Guys like Freddie Freeman, guys like Teoscar Hernandez. Andy Pages just showing that they still have life, although they haven't been having the best games before this. This series showed that these guys are going off. I mean, yes, the Pirates are the 2nd worst team in the NL, but the Dodgers did a very good job of capitalizing on it. You know, giving up that first loss isn't ideal, but following it up with 2 wins and even a series win is always great. It's great momentum going into our next series where we've got Dustin May on the mound for the Dodgers now. Unfortunately, didn't have a very good last start against Chicago. But he did face a very, very big hitting team, a very, very hard team to face in terms of their hitting. Let's see if he can build some momentum off the fact that the Miami Marlins really aren't a team to beat right now either. Let's keep this momentum going. Once again, we still are at the beginning half, but the fact that we are showing more life now, getting more wins, pitchers are looking a lot better. Once again, Tyler Glasnow just needs to get a little bit more healthier, maybe need some time down in the minors, just like Clayton Kershaw's having right now, to get some rehab starts and have some time to, maybe get a better feel for anything that he is going through. But I wish him a speedy recovery. Once again, we take this one 2-1 in the series, and a great job to the Dodgers on getting some momentum, keeping the momentum, and getting the bats hot all the way through. Good job for this one, guys. So that wraps up this episode of the Blue Dugout Podcast. Make sure you give a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. This is Chris Pacheco wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, wherever you may be.